Oh boy, good morning. Welcome to Brunch. Welcome to Hell Week. Goodbye to Hell Week, whatever we want to say, because fuck Hell Week. I hate it. I really do. It's the worst. Part of me, I haven't even really done my dailies yet today. I've been playing that charity game we've been playing all morning, and figured I'd just do my dailies on stream anyway. But good morning, everybody. Oh man, let's see. I know, Daniel. The year goes fast. I was thinking about that a few days ago. Just as you get older, and and time just goes so much quicker, and it's quite terrible. Not a fan. As for the intro, I mean, I don't really have a rhyme or reason as to why I use one intro over the other. I think I've lost my identity in that regards. I just kind of, whatever I'm feeling that morning. And I have not been feeling this Hell Week. Usually, I can tolerate it. Usually it's not the worst thing in the world, but with the holiday, with trying to spend time with family, it really hit hard and annoyed the crap out of me. That's 3 days in a row I went 0 for 5 on Shinhati at least once, so that's a little annoying. Rescue Panda. So Discord is kind of weird when you go to it. Let me show you. So when you go to Discord, I guess I'm going to have to mess this up for you to see this because of the way I have this set up. But I'll mess it. Crap, I can't even do it. I guess I can do it this way. Let's see. There we go. So I got to mess this up to show you. So Discord works really weird. My roster review channels are right here. They're right under the data mines. But I have noticed with Discord that if, channels that you don't normally interact with, it'll, auto-hide them. So I generally go to show all channels to see them all. So I go up here, I hit show all channels, and then it doesn't hide the things that aren't used as much. That's my trick to it. Now I have to fix my Discord. There we go. All right, so we're back here. I got lucky with Great Mothers, and I bought 3 of those energy packs, the Cantina energy packs, but I'm still really, really hurting for signal data at this moment, especially doing these polls that we've been doing, and we have one that we have to finish up today. It has really destroyed my signal data, and it really completely sucks because I know I'm going to need it coming up with everything coming out. If you can't type there, Rescue Panda, it is because you have not gotten one of the tags. I bet it's because you have not done this. I just tagged you in general chat. You can't type unless you agree to the rules in our rules area, which a lot of people seem to have some issue with. But we do that to lock out the porn bots, because we used to get lots of porn bots. So what I did, Daniel, is I did one 3x refresh full of GM just to get her there quicker, and then the same as you, I predominantly did signal data. And then I kind of finished up by doing 3x per day. Let me see. Do me a favor, talk in general chat. Just one line of text and I'll take a look. It just makes it easier to look at the rolls that way. Go. I feel like you've gotten one before too. As for see that I tagged the wrong person. I tagged a different rescue panda. Oops. Wow, there's 2 rescue pandas. So it says that you're new here. Are you both a rescue pandas and you don't realize that you have 2 different accounts? Because this account is new. And it says just joined this server. I can't see it because I have streamer mode enabled. But it says you're new. If you did still hit the thing, it's probably because the bots were down. So I can fix that. You don't have to click it again. Boom, look at that. Now you can type there. I think you had just had 2 Discord accounts and you maybe didn't realize it because there's 2 rescue pandas. And that's just a very specific thing. As for Ahsoka next month, I mean, I'm not going to have her right away. I don't have the funds. You can see I'm 11 days without spending at this point. I don't have the funds to invest. Oh, fuck, Smuggler's Run again. I don't have the funds to invest that way and go that crazy. It'll probably be about a month or 2 until I'm able to get her. I think she's going to dominate. Yeah, so I don't know, maybe because you left and then came back. But that's why on our server I try not to have any pings that are not optional, right? I do an @everyone ping maybe once every 3 or 4 months. Everything else is optional and you can tag in or tag out on them, which is, you know, a big mainstay of our Discord community. As for Conquest, I'm not done yet, but I'm done with the hard part. I've done all of the hard things. Now it's just like survive feats and waiting on stamina. So it's really just a waiting game at this point. I think I have like 598 burritos. There's a couple of days where I came close to not even doing my 3 refreshes just because of time. And the holidays, and then later at night going, oh crap, I forgot to do that. Oh man. Gungies related stuff. I've been behind on the Gungies related stuff. Moonborn has like reached out to me about certain things and I'm like, oh, I'll get to it today, and then I completely don't get to it today. And then we have the charity game that we're playing right now. So that has taken up a lot of my time, is playing a city builder to raise money for charity. Which was definitely a mistake to start during Hell Week. But I didn't really have a choice because there are streaming commitments related to the sponsorship. And I don't really have time to just stream whenever I want. Galactic Bounties. Alright, it seems we're almost there. And it looks like we got some Fortuna in the house. So, Pazletti, good morning. Today we're having people over for football. We bought this whole setup for football and we haven't invited anyone over yet. So this is the first time that we're doing any of that. So I have to be social all day. I got to be social with you guys, and then I got to be social later. It's going to be It's going to be an interesting day. My social battery is going to run out real quick. All right. Once we're done with this, we will get to TB because my other TB officer is yelling at me and saying I need to get my crap done, and that's fair. I had to run 2 TBs this week, which really sucked. We had a long-time member quit literally on Monday, which was annoying. Like, you couldn't quit on Sunday and get me and get me some time to recruit people. But she was nice enough to trust me with her EA account, and I was able to do her Conquest, or her TB. But it was so much extra energy having to do that, because normally I do my TB at work on auto, but I couldn't do hers at work. I had to do it from my computer because I had the EA account. So, like, I'd have to wait for my wife to want to take a shower, and then I'd come down here and I'd try to get as many done as I could. And the ironic saving grace is that her account was not anywhere near as strong as mine. So that ended up being that I could do it a little bit quicker. No, Nana, I kind of joke when I talk about, like, being social. I much prefer when chat is lively. When chat is lively, I feel like I'm not just mumbling to myself. Oh, I feel like, oh, hey, I'm having a conversation with people. All right, come on. Ugh. I finally go sub 20 again. That's really all I care about, is going sub 20 on Squad Arena. If I get sub 20, I basically just exit out of the battle. I don't know what it is. I feel like it's just maybe even psychological. No, what it was is because I really try hard not to let playing this game bleed into my family life, my home life. I know it does to some extent. It does for anybody playing a game at this extent. So it really just came down to, we'd be sitting on the couch watching something, and I'd be like, all right, come on, I know I gotta get this done. I know I gotta get this done. I know I gotta get this done. And she would run off to go take a shower, and I go, boom, I gotta go, like, right now. I got it done as fast as I can. I was joking with my other TB officer and saying, like, it's so good that this account, it sucks, like, mod-wise, and doesn't have a lot of high-end stuff. So, like, after day 2, I was basically losing everything except for the fleet battles. But with that said, we're already at 20 minutes and haven't even hit TB yet. Let's get to TB so I don't get yelled at any more than I already did. That is done. I just want to make sure, Vandor we're not doing. He did get his Mandalore in. Okay, perfect. So we got everything in. Let's get to the battles that I hate first. We're at like a -10 right now in order to hit our full stars for this phase, which is fine. We'll probably be at like a +50 by the end, maybe even like a +75. So I'm not too asked about doing well as I have been in the past. We are most definitely going to drop a star this event, which kind of sucks, but with the holiday, we just had a few people that had really rough schedules, and during our biggest combat day, day 3, we just couldn't. We couldn't push it. We couldn't get what we needed because people were away, and that's okay because that 1 star doesn't do terribly much, and it was the holidays. And we were actually talking, me and the other TB officer, and saying, this is probably going to happen around Christmas. So instead of stressing out, we're going to run like a lighter TB and kind of expect a drop or two, and not be as hard ass and not be as concerned as we typically end up having to be. And hopefully that'll be a big quality of life change for me. Yeah, I can check in just a second. Oh, gross. You know what, Rescue Panda? I can tell just from the length of it that you followed the directions, and that means it's good. I actually have a lot of them to get through today, so I don't know if I'll get to it today. I want to really clear my backlog. That's my goal for today, is really to try to clear the backlog of the ones that are like a week behind. And hoping that, I can make people maybe not mad at me. Though Captain tells me his line is like a month long, and I'm like, I try to be more on top of it than that, so maybe I'm doing okay. Oh, fuck. Ugh. All right. Yeah, Cap has a lot, and he does go more in depth than I do because he goes into modding and stuff that he knows his modding really well. I just try to give people a farming path, so it does take him longer to do them than it takes me. I kind of have to trust that people can mod their own characters, but then I also find that when I do look at mods, I go, oh no, you don't know how to mod at all. And I am most certainly not a modding guru at all, but I get by. I've definitely learned from doing other people's TBs for them every so often. And then I try to do things that work for my account that don't work for other accounts. And I go, oh, it's because you don't even have decent mods on these guys. Let's see. Yeah, I saw that you guys, I think, were doing that. My guild, my other TB officer he asked me if we should consider doing that for this upcoming Christmas one. I kind of shied him against doing it because I think half of us do have that done. And even if we drop a couple stars in ROTE, it still would be better rewards than the extra we get from the achievement. For you guys, obviously, maybe it's more middle of the road. So, you know, having that achievement makes sense. Oh, you know, oh, I don't have to do that battle. That's right. The general rule of thumb for a guild without looking at your roster would be your size times 50. So like a 385 guild. But with that said, you can significantly punch up depending on what your roster looks like. So at 7.7 million, if you have some of the really solid like requirements that people look for, like being GI ready, you could probably get into a 450 to a 500 guild. Wait, I don't want to do that. I want Leviathan. Let's do... Actually, I think I do this one usually. I don't know. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. We should be good on points either way. I know this sounds like a first world problem, but I'm actually starting to run low on shock prods. I had 2,500 of them a month ago, and now I'm down to 1,500, and I know that that's ridiculous for some people. To go, that's not that bad at all, but, you know, with Shinhati coming up, having to do my tune today for whatever won the poll, Marok coming up soon, Balin, Ahsoka, Huyang. I feel like that's going to go really, really fast. Yeah, the same thing, Nee. I don't think it makes sense for us, and I actually feel being at our level, we're at like 6-10 million, that we actually, you know, might end up losing one or two people if we decided to do that. Our TB, I said this to our officer actually today, my other TB officer. Last Christmas, our TB was much more relaxed because we were using an old strategy. So most days were kind of like middle of the road. Our new strategy is a lot more tight, which is why there's so much stress for everyone to get things done. But I do actually think that things will loosen up a little bit in like 2 or 3 months. Day one is very light for us in terms of actual need. Nobody needs to do battles. Day 6 is kind of middle of the road need. Like, do them, don't do them. It's not that big of a deal. Day 2 is incredibly tight. Like, you have to do every single battle. Days 3 to 5 are pretty high, but not unmanageable. So I think in like 2 or 3 months, we'll see like days 2 is still going to be hard. Day 3 to 5 become a lot easier for us, and we'll be able to, you know, enjoy it a little bit more. Let's see. Cheers, Panda. Thank you, for stopping in, even if for just a little bit. What do I want to do here? I don't have R9s for that. Actually, I'm going to do Vandor because we are so close that I can make the attempt. I actually want to try it on auto. Nee, give me 1 second. I need to post something on my guild Discord real quick, and then I'll take a look because I think I might have missed it. Okay. Let's see. Speaking of Hell Week, what would you recommend as a 2025 R8 target for Ops for a guild that is still going for Reva, Zepho, and Mandalore? Nee, do you kind of mean like how to go about getting the R8 Ops? Can you like clarify the question a little bit? Oh, we did. Nice, Astra. That's awesome. This has not been the worst. This has not been the worst conquest. It sucks because they've kind of shifted conquest to be like 2 survive feats per sector. So there's a lot of going back that has to be done, and it's just annoying. Nena, I'll tell you that I do not have a relic armorer. You know, everybody's in a different place, but I don't even have a relic armorer. I think she's a great relic tune, even for GAC, for like off C teams. But I haven't even put value in having her yet. You know what? It's a tough question to ask. Here's what I would recommend you doing, Nee. And this is what we did, and it took about 6 months. First, target your day plan. Okay, figure out your platoon day plan. And it might not even be the plan you're using right now. It might be the plan that you want to shift to. And that, I don't know if you use hot utils or not. If you use hot utils, it makes it a little easier because you can populate what you already have as a guild. If you don't have hot utils, you'll have to do it manually. And then what you do is you make a list of, well, you make three, we made 3 lists. I made a list of very good tunes at R8 for that planet, right? So like, let's say we're doing Haven class, and I know that we need to do Haven class, and it's all R8s. I make a list of everything we still need, and I might put something like Malgus in the really good category. I might put something like Dengar in the middle territory, though, because of Punishing One. Though when we did this, Dengar sucked, and I was one of the people that had to do him. And then I might put something like Snow Trooper in the shit category. And then I release it a little bit at a time to the guild, and we try to get each person to commit to 1 character from each list, right? So like 1 really good character, 1 middle of the road character, and 1 shit character. And I typically try to focus on 1 op at a time and say, all right, let's try to get this 1 op, because if I get that 15, that's a 20 boost. And that took a couple months. You know, it took between 4 and 6 months for us to do. And every TB just saying, hey, this is where we're at. We're now at 2 of 6. We still need these characters. Please reach out to volunteer. Surprisingly, we had I'd say about 30 out of 50 people volunteer. And then once we got to the end of that list, we reached out to those 20 and we said, hey, you know, you're part of this guild. We really need you to commit to like 1 shit tier character. Here's the list. Pick one. The reality is it has nothing to do with bang for your buck. It has everything to do with understanding the fact that everybody is going to have to relic something that sucks. You know, and R7, not as bad. R8, not terrible. R9, like, really sucks. Convincing people to do it's not that convincing people to do R9 sucked, but, like, being in a position to force people to R9 things really sucked. What do I want to do here? I am curious about Hut Cartel here. I don't know if it'll work. But since he cannot do... Ooh, actually... Actually, I'm gonna do Leia here. Let's see how Leia does. Yeah, once you get to R8, it starts becoming take one for the team. Well, that is part of it, Nena. You know, as a guild officer, I have definitely taken one for the team multiple times, and often one of the reasons I'm so low on signal data all the time is often if somebody leaves and we need something in an emergency, I just end up doing it, or my other TB officer ends up doing it. But the reality is there's just too many tunes to cover for one person. And you have to do it as a team. You have to as a guild. There's no way to handle it not as a guild and get through it appropriately. And it does suck when people leave the guild. And it does suck when people are a little bit less consistent. Because then you have to figure out how to cover those characters, which is not fun. But that's the first step. The first step is just getting through it. And it's all about communicating. It's all about communicating with your guild and them understanding the expectations, and them understanding what you're trying to do and understanding why it's beneficial for them. And now when I recruit, I tell people, I say, listen, we don't force farm you, but we are going to expect you to be a team player. You know, there is that expectation that everybody's in this together and everybody benefits when we all do one or two characters instead of forcing people to do 5 or 6. All right. Now, the reason I did that with Leia is that I'm just curious. Well, actually, I guess Jabba can't do much here because we can't use Skiff or Bosch. Man, that makes things harder. Though, Night Sisters I know are very, very reliable here. So we're going to throw that in first. What have I done for the team? I did Malgus to R8, which ended up working out very well for me because this was pre-Leviathan. I did Mon Mothma to R9. I did Hoth Rebel Soldier to R9. I did Dengar to R8 before Punishing One came out. Grief Karga to R7. Hermit Yoda, I think, is an R8 now because we lost somebody, so I needed to make up an R8 Hermit Yoda for them. If you look at my account, it's filled. There's a lot of characters where you go, why do you have that character at this level? Hoth Rebel Scout to R8. I think there's a few Ewoks that I did. Not Chieftain. I think Elder I had to do to R7. It just comes down to if somebody leaves the guild and we miss the fact that they had something, then that day comes up and we go, oh shit, we really need that up. I just go, all right, you know what, whatever, I'll do it. So it kind of sucks for my account because I would be way better on signal data right now. And we've also had a few times where very reliable members, like people who are usually so reliable, they'll message and go, oh crap, I forgot that I am the platoon for this guy and I used him in a battle. And then I go, all right, you know what, I'll do it. It's fine. So I have a few of those too, where I did it because somebody just screwed up. Yeah, that's really what it comes down. I'm very upfront with everybody I recruit about our expectation because I would much rather be honest and then say, you know what, I really don't think this guild is going to be a good fit, than have to replace them in a couple of months. I much rather have to be down a guy than have to deal with that. Dark side. What can we do here? Do Lord Vader. Let's say Lord Vader. I'm not going to have enough to run every combat here. We're going to try this in a very particular way. Yeah, it's not an unsmart thing to do, setting a tab just so you know your characters. I think that it frustrates me when people forget because I feel like, at least I do, I know what characters I have that are rare. And I put those guys in right away. Before I even do my battles, I'm going to put in my rare characters. And then I try to avoid using characters like Cat because I know other people need Cat more than I do. All right, that didn't work. So the reason I did that with that particular squad is I've never tried this battle with C post Bane. And I'm just curious about it. I don't think it'll work, but I also don't really need the points. Oh, gosh. Well, that was a mistake. And since day 6 is a little bit lighter, I don't really have to worry too much about the points. You know, you know what's really freaking stupid is I took that as a completely literal just statement, and I'm sitting here going B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and then I remembered our whole understanding, and I was like, oh, wait a second. I'm the one who's dumb here. I love it. I do. I really do. I love dad jokes. I think almost every node is, let's see. Almost every node is auditable to some extent. And it does. It matters the team, what is good. But generally, and here's the part that maybe you're not considering, is that it's not hard to convince people to do the characters that are going to be good. You know, that's not the challenge. Usually, if a character is going to be semi-good, you can pretty easily get someone to agree to do it for the team. It's when a character is shit. Well, that didn't work. It's when a character is shit that you have to do that convincing. Alright, we're gonna just... because I can't use Jabba on Vandor anyway. It doesn't matter. 14 stars is not bad for if this is your first ROTE, you know? And I'm assuming for you guys it's mostly deploying. So that's not bad at all. Yes, the crappy ones are the ones you have to convince people. That's just how it is. But, you know, I said this in my officer video. The more you communicate with people, and the more you openly and honestly communicate with your guild, the more that they will respect the process and do their best to help. So that's why, like, I always do a TB redux at the end to explain to people what's going on and where we stand with things. It's part of the process for me, and I found that it just really significantly helps, you know, keep everybody honest. And I'm sitting here playing our charity game too because all of my timers just came up, so pardon me as I do that. Nope, can't do any of that stuff right now. Can't do that yet. Ops 15. Oh, hey, Lady Geek. Always a lurker. Always in here to some extent. I should know that by now. We are good. This is actually working out better than I expected, if we're completely honest here. I want to take out Rex because I don't want to get screwed by his ability. But it seems that there's maybe too many taunts on the board for that. Especially if I want to keep it on auto. And while you're doing that, don't forget to vote in the Gungies if you haven't already. We're coming up, what is today? Today is December 1st. Gungies voting ends on December 7th. Then I have to start reaching out to content creators and getting them to do videos and special things, and we'll see how that goes. Ooh. All right, we are, what do we got? 375 is next. 680, where are we at with this? There's about 15 battles left times 1.5, so we can actually go to like 715 here. No, let's say 710, 705 just to be safe here. And we are gonna see if we can run this battle. We've done it in the past, it works. It works sometimes, it does not work other times. I think it really runs down to whether or not Luke dies right away. Yeah, well, Luke died, so I do not think that this battle is going to be a win. Oh, that's now definitely not going to be a win. Alright, we're not going to waste our time then. That looks like the end of TB. Right, because I can't do anything on these. Yeah, I've done all of these. Special shout out to Conked, by the way, who took our Moonborn graphic and he made me a little script. So now that day without spending tracker will update on its own, which is nice. Now I don't even have to worry about it. And hopefully that number continues to go up and I do not get enticed into spending anything. That is TB for the day. There's not much else I have to do here, so I am going to refill my mug with some water and I will be right back to trudge through Conquest. All right. Is my throat getting better? You know what? And first of all, don't worry. You don't have to apologize about reading the room incorrectly. I am always up for a good joke. Yes and no. I'm on a. I'll show you. Hold on. Because my cat is literally killing me, according to my doctor, my second cat, according to my pulmonologist, I'm on this like special inhaler called Trelegy that I have to take every day, and it really screws with your throat, and you have to like gargle and rinse your mouth out like right after taking it, and so it makes my throat feel kind of raw a lot of the time. So I don't think that that's unfortunately get better anytime soon, but hopefully my body will just get used to it and be able to compensate for it. But thank you for asking. Let's see. Let's say 55. We are in Conquest now. Let's change some of this stuff over. Oh, I didn't change this thing. How sad. Do I have a Conquest one? No, I don't. Moonborn, why don't I have a Conquest one? Where is my Conquest one? I don't know. Let's just, I guess, call it Rise of the Empire. We are basically at the end of Conquest. I've got 584 burritos. It's really just maintenance feats at this point. And, you know, sector feats. I don't have to necessarily worry too much. I do need to get this as a 3-star battle. to do that. I need my Imperial Remnant, who have been... Man, my Imperial Remnant has been putting in double duty. It is amazing. They are beautiful. I love this squad so much for Conquest. They're so fun to play. And by play, I mean, I don't really play them at all. I just kind of watch what they're doing, you know, without any, like, paying attention. This is definitely an annoying squad to play them against. Clearly. Takes nice and long, but that's okay. That's all right. I love them for Conquest, and you got at least 2 more months of them in Conquest. I have not tried them in PvP because I just relicked the team like in the last week. I've heard they're not super great at that. With the Omicron, again, haven't tested them yet because I don't have a 5th high relic Imperial Remnant yet. And I just can't afford the signal data right now. But I did do the Omicron, and I have heard really good things. Our TB library, we have some videos somebody posted for me based on some of the things that the squad can do, and they were like doing silly things because they had higher relics, like taking off all of their mods, just to show how good the team is. So I'm excited to use them there. Oh, hey, Nomad. And I will definitely be taking the R9. I don't know when I'm going to be able to. There's just too much signal data coming up that needs to be used or utilized. Because it doesn't make sense to do one of them to R9. I feel like I need to do all of them at the same time. Otherwise, it's really just a waste sitting on my account. Especially with other projects needing to be done. Alright, so that is done. $5.99. Actually, I have not used that yet. All right, let's, what do we take in here? I don't want to take in Inquisitors because I need them for survive feats. So let's just do... No snips. Let's do this. I feel like I need snips. Because of oh, I guess I don't because of ult. Right? Ult should take care of that. I don't know why I did that. It wasn't really necessary. It's just going to end up as an armor shred. Another armor shred. Oh, it's an AoE. Okay. We need an ult so that I can get around this taunt. You know what? My Thanksgiving, I was at my in-laws. It was all right. Oh God, I was hoping to get the 3-star, but I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna ignore the 3-star for now. And I know I can do this with Inquisitors, but I was really trying to avoid it. I might not need it. We'll see. You know, I was at my in-laws. My wife and I go up to my brother's for Thanksgiving. They were not in the mood to host Thanksgiving this year and decided to cancel last minute. So it was a little bit not in the greatest moods. I have 3 nieces that live upstate that I don't get to see very often, so I get very excited to go up. So I was upset about that, definitely. Let's finish this off. Yeah, I was trying to avoid using characters that I generally use for the survive feats. And I was hoping that the data discs would make it easy. But it's fine. I might not even need it. Let's see what survive feats we have left and go from there. And Inquisitors will destroy this in seconds. But I need those Inquisitors. Alright, so we're 4 and 4 here. What can we do here? Shinhati, Night Trooper, and Enoch in squad. That's easy. Only have to do one more of those battles. This should be fine. I'll have to remember that for next time, because I didn't use Gungans a lot at all this Conquest. It's like that weird spot of trying to like figure out what to use versus what you don't want to overuse. So I'll have to remember that for next time, because I don't even actually think I used my Gungans at all this time around. There we go. And then this is where the Inquisitors come in, right? So we do Third Sister. I like to throw LV in just in case. And Shinhati. Oh, I thought I hit Merc, but I'm just an idiot. I really want them to change that stupid GC Omicron to a Conquest Omicron, by the way, especially after the pass change. Like I was a little disappointed that not as many people rallied behind that, because I think that is a great change and would make me so happy to finally be able to apply that Omicron. Alright, we need 10 more burritos. See, Sector 3, we just need Peridia to survive. I don't know if I can do that here. Okay. Well, you know what? What's the worst? Like, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Imperial Remnant, Peridia, Peridia, Peridia. Let's see what happens. Yeah, that's what I figured was gonna happen. But I don't want to waste the battle. Cheers, Knight. Thanks for joining us. Let's try. Let's see how Joe. So I normally, for survival feats, throw Inquisitors in, but I knew Saw, like, even with Third Sister Lead, that there'd be some ability, like, they'd hit hard. That's not a bad idea, Hod, because my Night Sisters are not, like, they should be pretty stamina full. So that is not a bad idea. Let's see. Now, the problem is that Chirrut heals, which might make Plague not work. Yeah, who's this Egnards folk, this guy that we're supporting? Edgar Allan Poe. See, the problem here is Chirrut. I made you some okay, well, this should work then. If it's just these guys left. I wonder if I can do another one, though. Because they will be lower stamina. But I can use data discs because it doesn't matter anymore. So I actually thought I would not finish Conquest until next time. And it looks like we're okay. Or until next, what's tomorrow? Till Monday. And if we'll be able to finish today, I'll be happy. I think it's just one more battle, so let's just, I don't know, throw stuff on. Protection, health steal, let's throw protection on there. Tenacity, potency, let's say potency. Ooh. There's not really many buffs on this team. Do you get any? No, you don't get any stems for free. That stinks. Da, 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 da. Free stims, yeah, right. Ooh. Wow, look at Ray. Hitting hard and shit. I'm excited for Ray. I know, the day that Ray was announced, so many people messaged me on Discord, and they're like, oh, did you see the news? And, like, some people super excited. So some people, like, really, really mad that it was Ray and not Snoke. Snoke is basically my Jar Jar Binks, so I was super happy it wasn't him, and that this is the way that things happened. Nice, get some dilithium. We are going to send this guy out to source seal. Look at me multitasking. Oh crap, do I have one more I need to do? Oh, I didn't realize I needed one more. All right, let's see if it works again. Sure, why not? Health steal, some more dark ray. Ba-da-ba. I think when we talk about Conquest characters, one of the things is that Conquest characters typically only perform well in their specific game mode. That's one thing to consider. It's not always the case. Bane does really, really well in all game modes, though he just completely annihilates in GAC. I don't think you're going to get a full picture of Dark Ray in Conquest without Omicron's attached to her. Also, the other thing, and I try to remind people, is Arnold's an entertainer, and he's a great entertainer. But a lot of what he does it's clickbait. It is designed to entertain. It is designed to get maximum engagement. And most of the time, it's better to say something sucks than it is to say something's good. So it's not necessarily a knock against him. It's just that I don't put as much stock into the data-driven stuff that he does. And good morning, Stero. Oof, yeah. Stero, I can't remember. We talked about the Gungies, didn't we? I think we did. If we didn't, we have to talk later. It's been a really crazy time of year. I've been forgetting everything, but I think we did. All right. Got my red crate. So the first thing I want to do is look at what I'm missing so that I know for next time, right? I don't really need to do Great Mother Surviving. So that'll help me a little bit. And it seems to really be the only thing that I didn't do. And some boss feats. So I'm not even going to bother with that next time. I do want this. All right, I just wanted to make sure that we talked. All of the captains. I like the idea of that. Which one is missing? Is it Phasma? Okay, yeah. Drogon, Solo, Phasma, Rex, Tarpals. So Enoch is the one that we don't use. And do any of them have a leader? No. Why would any of them have a leader ability? Oh wait, Phasma does, but it's not going to do anything for me. Alright, well. Let's see. I like the reference. At the very least, if nothing else. It's a fun reference. I have not. I don't have booming voice. I generally don't use booming voice either, though. I dislike most purple data discs. I don't usually find them to be as useful as using 2 or 3 lower data discs. But that's really personal preference more than anything else. Good morning, Afromenda. Thanks for the follow and chatting with us and joining us for brunch. I appreciate it. Don't forget to vote in the Gungies if you haven't already. Only 6 days left. I did use that data disk because I needed it for the global. But I wouldn't have applied it otherwise. Or wouldn't have used it otherwise. I've said this before. Anytime you have Amplify Agony, Lord Vader just becomes a non-negotiable, amazing conquest asset that I obviously know that not everybody is able to procure. But for me, just the best thing in the world. Now it's time to just burn energy and then go into our roster reviews, I guess, huh? You always find, like, the fun things, Stero. That's what I enjoy about you. You're kind of like if Arnold wasn't always caring about just the clicks and was informational. Especially with data disks. You figure out like the fun, weird things that really do help people out. Again, not trying to knock him. I just think it's a different type of content. And I think that not everybody understands that so much. Cheers, good morning. No alcohol yet, for me, just because we're having people over. I know that I'm going to be drinking later. I know there's going to be a lot of beer, so I'm trying to be good until then. Oh, shit. You know what? I did not take my vitamin D yet. Thank you. Let me go get my vitamin D pill. It's kind of sad that you guys remind me to take my medicine before I remember. You know what it is, Lady Geek? I said this on one of the charity streams we did in the last couple of days, and I don't think you were in on those, but I actually have been trying really hard. I don't want to say to drink less, but to stop. Gaining weight is a bad way to put it because I am very small. But pre-COVID, I was 150, 155, and now I push 170, 175. And I would like to get in the 160 range again, so I kind of recognize that I don't drink a lot at a time generally, but I do drink consistently, like every day I have a beer or two. That's okay. That's all right. So I've been trying, cutting down on drinking to really only drinking on the weekends and still like not going as crazy. My wife and I have been trying to be good about not ordering food or eating out as much as we were, just to be more cognizant. So I would love to have a whiskey right now, but because I know that I am going to be having drinks later, I am trying to be semi-good. You know what? I was having the same problem with my armor shredders because I made a mistake that I'm not going to make next time. I got that offense disc that gives you 4% offense for every debuff on the enemy team. And my armor shredders were just like annihilating the enemy because of it. So I'm not getting that data disc next time. It kills things too fast. A nice little first world problem that things are just dying way too fast. But again, I've said this before when it comes to Conquest, it's not so much about finishing quickly, and it's more about getting to only doing the bonus nodes quickly. As long as you're doing your battles on a bonus node, it's not wasted, right? So for me, I'm okay with armor shred taking a little longer if I know I'm doing it on the bonus node. Stero, I feel that. My wife, like, she likes to bake something. She gets in a mood to bake because she sees something on, like, TikTok. And then she'll be like, oh, I'm baking these things. And then I actually get annoyed just because she will, like, eat one cupcake and be like, all right, I'm good for the week. And I just cannot control myself, and it'll sit there on the counter, and I will eat everything that is left. Crap, I need to spend this. I'm gonna spend some of it at least. Before Tuesday, right? Yeah, if you have the pass, you just get too much of this currency for the stuff that you want. Like, it's crazy. I'm like, I don't know what to do with all this currency. I'm just buying crap. Hey, man, dude, 100 pounds weight loss in 2 years is no laughing matter. That's awesome, man. Like, honestly, I've always been small. I always call myself skinny fat because I do have problems with controlling my portions. Growing up semi-poor, I have that poor mentality of, like, I have to finish food that's in front of me. And even if I, like, clean my wife's plate, or I go to, like, oh, I don't want that. I'm glad I didn't have enough. If I go to, like, clean off her plate and she's finished half, on the way to the kitchen, I'll sit there just quickly, like, eating whatever she hasn't eaten. So I've been trying to get better about doing that, too, and not doing that. Yeah, I mean, the pass, I think, is a great value at the spot, at the bottom one. But I think unless we see some store changes, you're just buying crap. And I think they kind of know that. And they're like, you know what, they don't need those things as much. Or you know, maybe for lower ends it matters more. I could say, did it change you for the better? Or did it change you for good? That's a wicked reference, folks. Vash, good morning. Speaking of Scribe, I heard if we say Scribe's name 3 times, he shows up on stream. Scribe? Scribe. And Scribe. We'll see if it works. We are done with Conquest. Before I take another break and we start doing roster reviews, we do have some maintenance that needs to get done. We're going to head over to Discord. We're going to find out what our G13 tune is for the day. We actually did quite a bit in these last couple of weeks, so we have to go back. I'm annoyed. Not as many people appreciated my the Timu Beetlejuice. My Conquest planning pun, but that's okay. Where is it? Ah, there it is. Okay, Baby Cal is done. 11/17. Holiday season 12/1. It looks like we have to do DTMG. Ah, fuck. I really never wanted to do DTMG, which is annoying. That's okay. We are also going to copy this so that I have it here. And so we can populate the second poll after we do this. Imperial Remnants. Where is he? I'm also running out. There's this one G12 gear. Which one is it that I'm running really low on? Hopefully it's not something he needs. There's something I only have like 200 of left. Oh, thankfully it's not something that he needs. Gross. Well, I'm not doing the Omicrons. At least not yet. I don't have a lot of them left. You guys, Kazgul made me do one of them. He made me do a Luthen one. And then you guys made me do the Savage one. And I just feel like I don't even know if I have enough to get him to R5. Do I? Oh, okay. I have just enough incomplete signal data to get him to R5. Oof. Yeah, like, look, and I have to do his, look at this, 32 of 20. I have to do his, I gotta give him decent mods now. All right, so now we need to populate our, we have to populate our poll. So let's see what we got. We need 10 up for our poll this week. Start shouting them out. I like to have a mix of good characters and bad characters to make it interesting. I think Admiral Trench is the highest level one that I don't have right now. Who should we put on the poll this week? Nomad, I think I have 10 Zetas Saw. If I spell Saw's name wrong, people will get mad at me. So let me make sure I have the spelling correctly. Where the fuck is Saw? Saw Gerrera. Okay. Saw Gerrera. I probably will spell it anyway. Alright. Kira. Okay, fine. We'll keep Admiral Trench on there. Admiral Trench. Imperial Probe Droid. Wait, what just happened? Admiral Trench. Imperial Probe Droid. Where's Jedi Bob? There he is. Omega. Okay, fine. I'll even say Omega because I like doing it that way. The Mandalorian. L3. Yeah, people are really surprised that I don't have L337 yet. L337. Tarful. And then I think I need one more. That might... Let's just check. One more. We already got an L3 in there. Yeah, you all are saying L3. I already put him in there. I need one more. Range Trooper? Alright, I actually don't hate the idea of doing Range Trooper. Eventually, these characters will all fit in one spot, which will be nice. right? I don't have Range Trooper. I didn't... Yeah, I don't have Range Trooper. All right, so I've populated all 10. Oh, but CWC. Oh, man. We're going to have to save CWC for next time. That was a good call out, but I've already populated this for this time. So let's say... DTMG. Fresh Adverbs. And what is 2 weeks from now? 2 weeks from now is the 15th. $12.15. What? Why can't I use the Range Trooper? I think I got them all. That was strange. Poll is on Discord. It is... No, bad. You don't know that? It is always on... It is always in my egg notifications. Let's populate that now. Poll is up, by the way. Jar Jar. We have Chewbacca. That weird one. R2-D2. And the Red Saber. Okay. Poll is up. I am going to refill this water, and then we have roster reviews that we got to do. Well, the poll goes until for the 2 weeks. The poll is always in egg notifications, right? Right here. I leave it up for the 2 weeks. People vote on it. People don't vote on it. We see what happens after the 2 weeks. Right now, it looks like the front runner is Saw Gerrera, but that could change. Usually about like 80 to 100 votes total. So let's pop out for just a second. I will be right back, and we will get into our reviews for the day. All right. First thing we're going to do is just double check, make sure that my guild has been getting tagged on Discord. Oh, looks like he is on top of it. Perfect. And we'll go back to Slice of Oto. Head over to my roster reviews. Who is up first? Sin, I believe. It's about 2 weeks ago. 11/19, which is about a week and a half ago, so that's not too bad. And then I had one that I... Oh, wait, no. 11/18. These are all 11/17. There was one I missed, but I figured out afterwards, and I'm wondering why it's missing. All right, we have this up. Where is that? A synth here. Just gonna move some things around. Super fun for everybody to watch, I know. Perfect. And we can close down the game. We don't need that up anymore. So let's see. We've got Sin. It is 1 hour and 36 minutes in. As I'm rounding out JML Farm and Dark... Oh, before I do this, we are going to change this over to roster reviews. We are going to take this topper. We're going to put Jabba on top of Jar Jar. Jabba counter so far 0, right? And we will close that one out. Okay, now we can get back to the review. As I'm writing out JML and Dark Ray is on the horizon, I'm left wondering where I should go next. I'm hesitant to go for Profundity because of its condition and my distance to it. I'm set to unlock Malgus Fury class within 2 Proving Grounds, so my immediate thought is I should go for Leviathan. Salt Battles, I have CT3 done on all of them but Secret Shadows, and I think I'm alright with this outcome for now. I generally don't tell people to go crazy on Secrets and Shadows as long as you can get CT1. And we'll make sure that you can. But it sounds like if you're doing CT3 on the other ones, you probably can at least get CT1 on Secrets and Shadows. Guild focus. My guild is locked in on ROTE naturally. I'm working on 2 more Inquisitors to R8 for the SM on the Haven Station. Fleet Arena, all Leviathans but me. I'm the admin of the Fleet Discord. Love it. What are you currently working on? That's kind of why I'm asking here. Dark Ray is a guarantee for me. She'll be going straight to R9. I have a reputation to uphold as a Ray simp, obviously. Other than that, as mentioned above, kind of lost thinking Leviathan is the next major step. So let's check that out. Let's just see what this reputation is about. Is it a Sith thing? No, so it's not really a Sith thing, because we don't even have Bane, it looks like. Is it a Rey thing? So what is the reputation? Is it just Darkside Rey? Or is it just, like, hot Sith ladies? I don't... Is it First Order? It's First Order. Okay. She's not First Order, though. Is she, or is it just... Let's see. Oh, she is still she is First Order. Okay. I thought it was just like a weird synergy. Alright, so you're the First Order guy. Got it. We understand now. I do want to check out those Night Sisters just to see... Alright, you should be doing CT1 at the very least. And if you can do CT1, you're pretty much in good shape for that. We are 9 million, rank 40. I don't love this, but I do understand why. There must be a hell of a lot of Leviathans in there. Let's see what this collection is actually looking like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Galactic Legends. No Jabba, which kills me to the very soul, especially because you do have JML. Outrider's not there yet. As far as these ships go, what I will say is Profundity is not in as bad a place as people think it is, especially if you're fighting against Leviathans right now. Putting Mark 6 Interceptor, some people say in your opening lineup, some people say as your first reinforcement with Profundity, can take out Leviathans fairly reliably. I don't want to say fully reliably. So a lot of people have been in that position, but you are in dire need of having a second GL level ship. That's No questions asked there. Now, is that more important than Jabba? That is the question. Leviathan about 1,000. Profundity 400 signal. Ooh, a little bit more. That's not terrible. Jabba 1430. Yeah, I've never had to play with this strategy myself because I always prioritize the new ship. Let's see this. Haven't even really. This is great. Well, you got this one, which is nice. Bosch. Okay, you have Bosch, which is also nice. How is your guild doing in the raid? Oh, the guild doesn't seem to care that you're not doing too much in the raid, which seems to be fine because they don't seem to necessarily care that much about the raid itself. And you've, it looks like, switched the halls, chromium canvas. Is this like Urz's guild? The hall, or like one of his guilds? Does he have like a whole guild? Does Egnards need a guild now? Call him Egnards Silly Boys or something. Because that is what Urz calls his group, is the hall. I kind of hate that I know that. Good guy, though. Let's see. Da, da, da. Da, ba, da. Ba, da, da. Interesting with this, too. I've been suggesting this to a lot of people lately as a very short-term thing. Egnard's Lost Boys. I've been suggesting this lately for a lot of people because... do you have one? No, you don't. Because Cantina farms are such a high priority a lot of times, but they're also something you don't necessarily want to do. I would strongly consider taking Padawan Obi-Wan and Master Qui-Gon just to 5 stars. Preferably as soon as possible, just because then you'll get both tier 1 and tier 2 of that event done, and those are shards for those 2 characters. They're great characters that you don't need right now, but you're going to want them eventually. So the less that you have to do on Cantina, the better. So having them at 5 stars, you'll be able to do that, and it'll be helpful for you in the long run, and it'll kind of you'll thank yourself when later on you don't have to farm them as extensively because they'll either be done or mostly done. It's just really a short-term thing to consider. I'm curious. I definitely would strongly consider Zori Bliss as a short-term project. I've said it a lot. It really just turns the Rey requirement squad from like a C+ team to a B+, A- team, depending on how strongly you go for things like GAC. I don't go pretty heavily on GAC, but I do really still love the team and do not regret doing them, and those are all short-term things. If you are getting Fury class in the next 2 proving grounds, so that's a month and a half from now, I do think Leviathan needs to be a midterm project for you. You need a GL capital ship. You need it now. Punishing one does still do fairly good once you get it to high stars after like it wasn't a nerf, it was more like a changeover. But you need to invest in those fleets. It wins GACs, and I mean, being at 40, I don't, it's that you said that you are the admin of your fleet Discord, and I'm just curious because it says you're at 40 right now, and you might just have like a really amazing fleet shard that's really active, or you're just hitting 20 to 40 consistently. I can't tell because .gg took away the ability to see the graph of that, which kind of sucks, and I know it was done on purpose, but I don't necessarily know why. I would like to see you starting on those Sith ships. Where are they? Here they are, like Mark 6, right? Not really there yet. Sith Fighter, you're not really there yet. I believe that's a Cantina farm. Dagger, not really there yet. Those are going to take you a while. You know, so you need to decide on how fast you want Leviathan. I personally would probably be refreshing the ones that are hard nodes at least once a day. I actually probably stay at once a day because that'll take you 3 months or so, and that seems like a decent timeline. Obviously, the Cantina farms you can do a little bit quicker, and you can speed them up or slow them down at your whim. I hate the fact that you don't have Jabba right now. He is such a strong priority farm, but I also hate that you're presumably not getting crystals. And again, I don't know. So here's what I would say as your split path. If you are currently doing fleets at 20 to 50 consistently, I would be spearheading Leviathan as your major next project and then go into Jabba. If I just happen to have caught a refresh at a bad time and you are getting like top 5, which I don't think you are, then I would go Jabba and then Leviathan. In any case, you can start on those requirements as slow farms. I definitely, even if you're doing Leviathan first, I would definitely start putting in 5 battles a day on Outrider so that you don't have to worry about it later on. But those are your 2 major projects that do need to get done, like, pretty much now. I understand the Dark Ray thing. You're a simp for First Order. Will Relic First Order for food, for money, will... whatever. We're not going to get grotesque on this show right now. I understand it as your pet project as I sit here. It's weird for me to say I sit here with R9 Gungans because after they were announced and after I said, yeah, I'm definitely doing them... CG was like, oh, by the way, they're going to be important, so it's not even really like a weird thing to talk about them at R9, but we can talk about like Marin at R9. I get having a passion project. So again, I think your split focus right now is either Leviathan Jabba or Jabba Leviathan, and it depends on how many crystals you are getting from Fleet Arena per day. You know, the R8 Inquisitors for the SM on Haven, like, great. I think you have better uses of your signal data right now, personally. I've got 12.3, 12.4 million GP. I still haven't R8'd those guys. I do try to get some of the special missions. I just don't see it as a priority with so much on my plate, and there being so much that'll presumably be on your plate in the near future. Once again, for your short-term projects, I do highly recommend Zori with Omicron to like G12, and I do highly recommend Padawan Obi-Wan and Master Qui-Gon just to 5 stars. Other than that, you know, I think that's what you need to focus on. Thoughts on new fleet this next year? I don't know. You know, with Punishing One being a thing, are we going to get a new fleet or are we just going to get a lifter? You know, and with this new episode way of doing things, does that change anything? At this point, the only fleet thing I think is pretty much certain is that in the next 2 to 4 months, we're going to see a Profundity lifter. Whether it's a Conquest character or whether it's a Marquee, we are most definitely going to see a Conquest, a Profundity Lifter. Is it going to be Red 5? I've got no idea. I think Luthen's ship is probably a little bit more likely at this point. But, we could be surprised. Who knows? We're going into the era of Bad Batch and the Cavalry, which is an interesting call out. I know that they call them, it's the Cavalry in this show as well, but then you've got, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and isn't it the same actress when we're talking about live action and Bad Batch and what's her name, Fennec Shan, who I haven't really watched much of the Bad Batch, but I know that she was in a few episodes early on. Hey, Czar. Cheers. Just water, so don't get too drunk on my account. Let's move on. Let's see. Going back to Discord. That was a nice quick one. I like quick ones. 1:51:30. Michael. I love Michael. I haven't talked to him in a while in PMs. We used to talk quite a lot, and then we grew apart. He has this tendency of asking me for roster reviews and then completely not listening to me, and I put so much effort into them, and then like a week later he'll say, "Oh, I know you gave me these ideas to be efficient, but I am a simp for this character, so I'm not going to listen." He did say that he did listen to my last roster review, though, so that is nice. It only took a dozen times beating him over the head. That's where we're at right now. So let's see. Yeah, and it's the same actress, right? And she was the Cavalry in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Spoilers for the first season, if you haven't seen it by now. Favorite person, again, I've come to you again asking once more for your assistance in telling me how disappointed you are in my roster. Love it. At least he knows. What are your top 20 of your fleet arena? The Great Leviathans are everywhere, storming my fleet shard. Are you coordinating? Still haven't, but that's because I'm Mr. Antisocial. Assault battles, CT3, they're mostly in order. I really look for the CT1s more than anything else. Forest Moon, alright, we're going to take a look at that. And Fanatical Devotion, so maybe it doesn't have Riva yet. We'll see in a minute. What are you currently working on? Just finished Bo-Katan's requirements. I think we talked about that. Waiting for Leviathan so I can 7-star. You dead set on continuing. Already finished them. How highly do you value efficiency versus fun? Efficiency is fun sometimes when it's not coming from me, of course. Are there any favorite characters? Maybe GL Ahsoka. See, this is... I predict I'm going to tell him not to go for GL Ahsoka. That's my prediction. And then 2 weeks from now, he's going to say, well, GL Ahsoka. But that'll require a lot of newer units to 7, and it looks like hard work. Enoch looks like fun, though. If I had to put into thought, I need some direction. That's not going for Rey, because it's still probably never happening for another year or so. All right, well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 GLs now. Now, it's been about a week and a half. I don't remember what came up in that time. So no Bo-Katan yet. I do want to just kind of get an idea. It looks like... How do you spell Hu Yang? Maybe you didn't even unlock him. I don't know how to spell it. Oh, see, I spelled it completely wrong. So really no priority at all for any of the new stuff. We are 9 million. Okay. Fucking Canadians, man. Right. More semi-casual guild. It's all coming back to me. Not really doing much with Battle for Naboo. So GL Ahsoka is probably not going to be a priority for your guild at all. And so I'm going to say right now that you probably have no need to go for GL Ahsoka at this point, especially because you haven't even started any of the quite literal 6 marquees that we need for her. Yeah, I wish it was live and there was no delay. It's for the censors, so that when you guys curse and say mean things, I can edit them out, which I would never do because that takes actual work. I do want to look at Imperial Troopers. I'm going to tell you right now that you can do Forest Moon at CT3 with what you have here. Veer Stark Piet, Range Trooper, and Dark Trooper. You just want them as fast as possible. Like, make them as fast as possible, and the enemy team literally will not take a turn. I will once again tell you guys on Wednesdays, whatever one, because I think assault battles are now Wednesdays and Saturdays. I generally don't have time on Wednesdays. But for some of you who struggle with some of these assault battles but have teams that can beat them, I will offer my service to you for tips to do your assault battles for you on Saturdays. Or at least try to get them done for you, because looking at these Imperial Troopers, you should definitely be able to do Forest Moon without any problems. Again, Veer Stark Piet, Range Trooper, Dark Trooper. Once you get that TM train rolling, the enemy team should not even take a turn. Well, speaking of when I lovingly curse Nena, to that I say, fuck you, Bones. And I'm going to tell a little Bones story here. It's not really a story. It's not even an anecdote. But because we're playing Star Trek Fleet Command for charity right now, and there is a character in Star Trek, Bones, so we are a big fan of... It actually just came up in our Game Whore channel. Where is my fuck you, Bones? Fuck you, Ah, there it is. Look at that. Bones, let him know. Don't even need to say it anymore. You just tag Bones and you know. Fuck you, Bones. Yeah, look, if it comes around on a Saturday, like, as long as I think that you have a roster that can do it, I will, do it for tip money, for beer money. Nothing formal, just the understanding that I help you, you help me. Let's go back to the roster reviews. There we go. Ground War, Secrets in Shadow. Let's check out these NS, Night Sisters. I mean, with the Marin Zeta, you could probably do CT2 here, but CT1 is the important one. So I'm happy with that. The Inquisitor one, it can be done at CT3 without Reva. I tried it a bunch of times. It is so time consuming and difficult that I don't recommend trying it until you have Reva. You have Jabba, so I cannot recommend that. I'm assuming I'm going to be... No, did you do them? Yeah, I think we actually talked about it before, so you do have the boys. All right, let's check out our gear tracker and see what's up. I mean, listen, man, this is the low-hanging fruit, right? Like, it's right there. Right? It's the low-hanging fruit for you. But again, you said I'm not going for Rey in the next year, so even if you're being a big, dumb doo-doo head, fine. At least you know it. Did I miss that you have Leia? This is actually kind of interesting. Oh, you do have Leia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you said you just finished Bo-Katan stuff. You're in a very interesting place in this game right now where we can make a case for a couple of things. I want to just check this out. I haven't really done the Zetas yet. Okay, so that's just not even on the table. I'm only ignoring Ray because I know you won't do her, but I just really think that it should be something you do. This is when I like to look at the bottom end of rosters. This would be a really good time to do General Skywalker and 501st. Honestly, you're in a good position now to do the 501st. I know it's Zeta heavy, but you have the majority of the ROI, and it is a good team. You used to be in a position where it was kind of like, yeah, they're great, but there's better things for you to be working on. I think you're in a good position to take that little detour for 501st and gas right now. Alright, I want to check one more thing. You're not even unlock great like why? Like just it costs 100 credits to like literally just unlock her. What about Morgan? Like you unlocked her. Were you away that week? That's silly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to look at this again. You are in an interesting spot. No, we don't want her. You're way too far to make this worth it right now. Yeah, they're a very good team, but you know I don't want to say they're a B team because they're not. But when you're still building the ROI on your account, there are a lot of other things you could be doing. Here's what I'm gonna say to you. You're at a spot where a lot of the back end stuff is done. And you don't need to worry as much anymore. I think what I would do for you, and this is kind of what I was saying to other people, is really try to get this Night Trooper, Death Trooper, Peridia, Captain Enoch squad to 5 stars in the interim, in as quickly as possible, to make use of the event for their shards, then go back to doing gas and working on gas and getting gas up to speed. And then I actually think, like, if you're thinking about GL Ahsoka, there's really nothing on your plate right now that is important's not the right word. Urgent. Okay? There's nothing that like has to be done right now. So if that's something you're thinking about, you can afford to do it. But I would definitely try to do these guys to 5 stars just in the very short term. Then go to gas and get gas up and running, and then maybe you'll have 1 to 3 months of just getting free shards from 2 different tiers of the event, which will be helpful to you. And then while you're working on them and like slow farming them, you'll be getting more shards over those months. Because you have... It's not like I have any... You have all of the back end that you need. Forest Moon, I'd like to see at CT3, but you can already do that. The only other like really glaring missing thing other than Ray, for whatever stupid reason when you bought the Lightspeed bundle, is that I would really like to see this Treya team. Like, this Omicron is just so wasted here. And if you throw her at even like G12, but really R5 is the sweet spot, with Nihilus, and honestly, I threw her with Nihilus. It is with Talon, and I would usually throw like Sith Empire Trooper and a random Sith because I didn't have Scion until recently, and that was because of my pulls. She still put in a lot of work for me. But I think gas is mandatory. Everything else is up in the air. I could definitely see you going for Ahsoka just because there's really nothing that needs to be done. Right? So do it. Do your passion project. Simp for Ahsoka. I beep for girls with big, long tentacles coming out of their head. But again, the order that I would do it is Enoch's Lost Boys to 5-star, then gas, then go back with Ahsoka, and enjoy that long ass ride. See, look at that. What did we say before? We said, I mean, it took us about a half hour, but we did say that if you say Scribe's name 3 times, what does he do? He shows up. And who do we want to call out that I can't go that back far in chat, but I didn't call him that. Somebody called him Timu Beetlejuice. Speak now and forever hold your peace and feel the wrath of Scribe. But anyway, you're in that cool place where you can kind of do whatever you want to do, right? But that's how I would do it, and that's how I would approach it. All right, let's go back to the one that I missed, and I feel bad because it was on like a thread, but that thread, someone deleted the thing that says that a thread was created, whether it was them or someone else, so I never knew that the thread was created. So we are going to go back to Stitch, who gave me quite a bit of information. I need to show up on Scribe streams more often. I feel like he's always here, and it's a very one-sided relationship, but he's always streaming during football. He's always doing his shit while I'm watching the Broncos either win amazingly or lose just so fantastically badly. I have permanent foresight. Basically, I'm JTR with some mastery. All right, let's go. What do we got here? 208. 208. Stitch. Top 20 of your fleet. I'm in day 1 fleet. Top 20 is all Leviathan. About top 30 are Leviathan. Are you coordinating? Yes, I'm in the shard chat. 2233330. Interesting. A day 1 shard, but a 0 somewhere. So maybe took a break at some point, I feel like, or maybe played really casually at some point, because I feel like our GP is not as high as it should be. What are you currently working on? Just finished shard farming the Poncho Bros, and you're sharding Glat? It's like sharding. When you say sharding Glat, it sounds like you pooped yourself. How highly do you value efficiency versus fun farms? I value efficiency higher than fun. I'd rather set myself up now for a better return later. Speaking of which, I'm not sure how to value the 2 new assault battles in terms of priority, in terms of how much to invest and when to invest. I don't want to say that that the new like Duel of the Fates is permanent, but I do want to say that when Meathead said for now, I was feeling 50-50 that it was going to be permanent. And I'm feeling now, after the outrage to the not 9 assault battles, that we're far more likely to see them have a much longer space in our return, and I feel much more safely about recommending them now. Are there any favorite characters? Nothing I'm 100% dead set on, but have a little bit of bias towards Glat. Would rather do stuff with the best ROI. Set me up for future. Potentially want to focus on Great Mothers, as I bought the Night Sisters LSB, so would only need Great Mothers and Morgan. Oh man, who wants to sponsor my Night Sisters LSB? Because I want to buy the shitty ones. Acolyte and whatever else. Which I think they will be. They're viable. I've loved GM in Conquest, honestly, this time around. I just got her to Relics, and I'm happy about it. All hard node shards are finished for the following. Okay. Profundity. I only tend to spend on Lightspeed bundles. Conquest characters. Okay. I kind of like when people tell me about their Conquest characters. I should add this to my survey, but really the only ones that are important are like the important ones, like Malgus. Malgus, Cat if you don't have Cat. That's really it. Other ones are great, but those are the ones that are like important to know about. I should hit Red Crate for DS Ray Conquest. I have quite a large hoard of resources. I'll include a hot utils message. My roster has been in a bit of a holding state since I finished my last farm. Here's my gear summary from Hotbot. I have a decent stash of resources and a ton of different directions with my account due to prepping hard node characters in advance. Another note, I do put a little bit more of a focus on GAC. I feel like most people do. I don't. I would like to revisit. I used to do this with people. I did this with Captain Amazing, and it was fun having him be in charge of my defense and offense for one GAC match, and being on stream with me while I played that match. I got to revisit that with other creators because I had a good time with it. Next farms I've considered are Duel of the Fates, Quadme, Peridia Patrol, Glat, BKM, Leia, Java, Profundity, and Great Mothers, but I'm not really sure which of these I should be prioritizing and in what order. All right, let's take a look. Let's see, day one fleet shard, 7.7 million. So yeah, definitely either played really casually for a little while, which I did do for about 2 years, or took a break and is just coming back to the game. Or not just coming back to the game, but took a break and came back at some point. I want to check this stuff out. And I see you have your stun gun list here, down here, your gear summary, which they can't see on stream right now because I'm going. I already put your roster up there. But I mean, 1,000 battle computers, 1,000 prods, you really are quite literally in a holding pattern. Quite a lot of signal data. You have been squirreling shit away. First thing I want to do is Rebel Roundup Forest Moon. Let's take a look at our troopers. Veer, Stark, Piet. I'm honestly going to say you can probably do Forest Moon at CT3 with, you'll have to most likely Zeta, whichever one of these is. Which one is this? Aggressive Tactician. Okay, yeah, that turn meter chance would be very useful. And then Imperial Intelligence. Yeah, those two Zetas would be super helpful. But with like Veer, Stark, Range Trooper, Piet, and Dark Trooper, and high speeds, you could almost definitely take out at least Forest Moon. Rebel Roundup's kind of a shit show because of all of the TM loading. Everything else there does not seem too terrible with your assault battles. Haven't even started the Inquisitors yet. Doing about 1.2 million in the raid. How is your guild doing? 462. Alright, so the priority's not going to be terrible there. Let's check out those Poncho Boys that we alluded to. You have them at 7 stars, so that is good. To answer kind of your question about the new assault battles, I see the writing on the wall for releasing the floodgates of needing R9s for a lot more things. So I immediately R9'd them. And I did not immediately R9 my Peridia Patrol characters, but I do intend on R9ing them. At your level, I don't know if R9ing them is a completely necessary thing just yet. I think R7 is a really safe bet for Padawan Obi-Wan and Master Qui-Gon. For your remnants, let's get rid of this. For your remnants, the nice thing here is that you do have them above 5 stars, so you'll get as many shards as possible. Again, the ROI on this one's a little bit lower because there are 3 of them that you have to put up, so you're losing some percentage there. I don't think it's as high a priority as Duel of the Fates, but it is a nice side project to eventually complete. Don't even have Malgus. What are we doing? I would really, really love to see your fleet rank a little bit higher. Let's take a look at some of this stuff. And once again, I said this earlier, Profundity is not terrible. People are starting to give Profundity a bad reputation, but with Mark 6, it does still work as a Leviathan counter, and you are a little bit closer to this than you are to Leviathan. Let's just check out those shards for Malgus. Malgus is at 240. I'm assuming you're not buying the Conquest Pass, so 260, 280, 300, 320. So you're looking at about 5 months for Malgus, which is not terrible. I really strongly believe we'll be seeing a Profundity lifter in the next 2-3, I'd say 3 to 5 months, but I don't like to base what I tell people to go for based on predictions, because that's kind of screwed up if you end up losing them. We've got this. Where's Jabba? Jabba's 15. Profundity, Leviathan, Inquisitor, Lord Vader, Collection. Let's see how these ships are. Don't even have some of these guys unlocked yet, right? 6, not unlocked. Sith Fighter, don't even have the Sith Fighter unlocked. Remember, Sith Fighter is a Cantina farm. I would start like 5 battling a day some of the Leviathan ships to get that started now. With Malgus being 5 months away, and I know you don't have Fury class unlocked, but whether maybe you have, maybe you red created that, maybe you didn't, but I know it's in Proving Grounds now. I see that it's not on your list of things here, so I kind of can't assume either way. But you should be able to, with your roster, with SLKR, at least do that thing. I would be doing 5 battles a day on those ships that you need for Leviathan. Even Sith Fighter. So Sith Fighter's a cantina farm, and I don't know, I feel like people think this is illegal, and it's not. And it blows people's minds when I tell them to do this. If you need a Cantina farm, but you don't need it right away, I do all of my refreshes on signal data, and then my midday energy plus my midday accrual I use on whatever that farm is. So like 5 to 7 battles a day on Sith Fighter to get that up. Start preparing for Leviathan now, but your major goal should be Jabba. You need Jabba. Jabba, having JML, being in that position, having all of the requirements at 7-star, and I'm not going to look because I'm just basing it off of your message that you sent me, having all of that gear in waiting right now. Jabba is amazing in ROTE, Jabba is amazing in GAC, Jabba is amazing in TW, Jabba is amazing in Conquest. Jabba has Smuggler's Run 2. Jabba will get you that Rebel Roundup CT3. There's just like, you have to be like actively avoiding Jabba to not be going for Jabba right now. I think that in the super short term, I would be taking your Padawan, your lover boys to R7. I would be working on Java as your kind of like right now goal, your big long-term goal. I would be slow farming to get yourself ready for Leviathan in the midterm. I do think GM is going to be super solid going forward. What I would say, I struggle to say this because you did not put much priority towards the raid, and it looks like, again, your guild isn't really putting much priority towards the raid. It seems like that'll probably be the same thing going forward for the next raid. Balin is probably the safer bet for an easier access to the new content that we assume, that we don't know if it's coming out, we have no idea, but it's like the generally assumed front runner for next raid. Balin's probably the better thing to go for right now. So doing your GM squad, doing Great Mothers and doing Morgan is not a terrible idea. The only problem is they are signal data whores, right? So I would maybe not consider doing that till you are done with Java, you are done with the Cantina farms for Leviathan, right? And you're just kind of looking towards your next project. That's where you need to be going right now with your roster, okay? Quick and easy. It only took me a week and a half to tell you that, but quick and easy. Let's move on. All right, we're catching up on days, which is nice. I hate being behind in my roster reviews. It's one of my least favorite things. Right behind the word absolutely, which got me completely eviscerated on Reddit recently. I told someone, I thought it was just a fun fact, me being silly, that it was my least favorite word, and everybody thought I was attacking them. And I was like, oh, okay, I wasn't. I was just trying to be fun. That's all right. I've got thick skin, unlike Scribbles, who cries himself to sleep constantly. That's right, I'm starting beef. Nico. Hey Egnards, thanks for helping the community here and on Reddit. I enjoy your math posts. I'd like to request a roster review. Thanks. Oh, I have to add the Java thing in. Alerts. Java counter. Are you saying that you are a Twilight vampire? 223. Absolutely. I'm going to cut this out. I hate the word apps. I hate adverbs. We're going on a tangent. I hate adverbs. And I recognize I use adverbs sometimes. I totally, recognize that I use adverbs sometimes. I just feel like most sentences where an adverb could be used, the sentence is stronger without the adverb. And when people say absolutely, it is almost always disingenuous. Like when people say, oh, I absolutely love that, there's just a disingenuous factor to it. It makes me kind of like go like this. And I understand that I use it sometimes, but it is my least favorite word in the entirety, of the English language. I hate it so much, and I use it sparingly and accidentally, but I really, really try to avoid it because it is a piece of shit word. Now we'll time this. 24 to 24:30. I don't hate definitely as much. I do use definitely sometimes, even though it's one of those words that I can never spell. Definitely and restaurant are like my kryptonite words that I'll never spell correctly. I don't hate it as much, but I definitely think, right? I think that it's an unnecessary word most of the time. Okay, now that I went off on a tangent for 6 minutes, Yeah, God, adverb. You know what? I'm putting this in there. Adverb tangent at 221. I don't hate the word moist. I get it. It has weird connotations. It makes people kind of like cringe. But moist has uses outside of the, the sexual stuff that people kind of go like, ooh, like this. I don't actually really like cake that much. I'm not a cake person. Moist doesn't bother me anywhere near as much, but it definitely is. Oh, fuck. See, I just used definitely. It is one of those words that I recognize is typically disliked by a large majority of people. Dry turkey fucking blows. Okay, we have to change the tag here, and I am not getting distracted again. Nico, link to your GG, top 20, most executors and non-GL ships. Interesting. Alternate first and second. Very interesting, because this looks to be a... I saw the adverbs there, Lady Geek, but I was looking at the message, not the subtext. And again, as much as I think adverbs are usually, not needed, it's absolutely that is like that adverb that I hate more than anything. And I got like negative 100 upvotes on that Reddit post. It was fun. So this seems to be a newer shard, but we have a pretty good basis for our assault battles. Finished Profundity right before PO dropped. Great timing. That's not a problem. Profundity is still awesome, especially, again, with Mark 6 in the opening lineup. Now focusing on expanding my roster since I was running out of teams for GAC. Currently shard farming for Jedi Knight Revan and finishing DR teams to get Malik. Next, I'm getting Gas up in his team. After that, the plan is to go for SK. I want to gear Ezra Exile. I'll be getting Ben Solo and hopefully Dark Ray after this Conquest full cycle. I'm getting Dark Ray up, but hopefully I'll be done with most of the other farms by the time I get here. Go for it. I also put my downvote train on there, and people thought that I was like being cringy, and I don't know. I was being fun to myself. I like when I make myself laugh. That's really my only criteria on anything. I'm mostly looking for directions to open, and I'm open to switching farms. I prefer efficiency. Enoch Remnants seem like a fun team. I'd like to get them up, but I won't R9 them. All right, that's fine. Let's see. Most people don't have to R9 them. Let's see where we're looking at. SWG. This is Nico's profile. 6.7. I gotta say, commendable at 6.7 having the foresight to be able to get your assault battles this in order. Night Sisters. Just want to check this off. Okay. Places of Power, and with 3 GLs too, which is crazy. That's awesome. Like, kudos to you. All right. How are we doing on this? Kylo Ray. We have Profundity, we have Executor. Leviathan's a little bit away. Starkiller. Starkiller's a really great team and at a fairly low cost. Inquisitors. Jabba. Again, somebody who probably doesn't really need to prioritize Ahsoka as much as other people are. You're already doing what you need for this raid at the very least. Okay, so I'm going to tell you that your major farm should be Jabba. Hands down, no questions asked, 100%. 100%. Like, it shouldn't be a thing. Farm Jabba, that's your big farm. Now, as for things that are, they could help you get some extra teams, you already have Zori. Awesome. for GAC, like low effort things that you can maybe do while you're also doing that. You're working on Sith Empire, Malgus, team to get Malik, you're probably going to unlock Malik at some point in the near future, so your team. So Revan, Bastilla, Sith Empire Trooper is not a bad idea for right now. Marauder, because you're going to need them. HK, I wouldn't take, past G12 until you need to do that, which you'll have to do eventually. But right now, you're just going to put a filler in until you get Malgus. Treya, super, super, super solid team. Get that Nihilus up there just a little bit. You can throw her with pretty much any Sith, depending on the types of teams that you're fighting. If you obviously have her trio, it's better, but I don't really think Scion is a necessity. And you will have Talon in the near future with Starkiller. What about our Phoenix? Okay, nice. So we got the Phoenix team. Let's see what else is glaringly missing. We'll go to the bottom. I think Ezra Exile, listen, he's great. But I don't think he's going to really shine until Ahsoka. He's great, but you're going to be pretty far from Ahsoka, so I don't know if I'd necessarily over-prioritize him. He will do well with Rey. He will do well with JML. But it's going to be a while, probably, until you have Queenie. There's nothing too terribly glaringly missing. I will say that if you are willing to do Peridia Patrol 2 relics, even if it's not R9, the boys are a better option. Right? These two. Just because you'll hit ROI positive about 30 to 40% faster. But they are Cantina farms, so if you're in that space where you're waiting for shards, I get that. But I would definitely relic these guys before doing the Peridia Patrol team. I do see a space for the Peridia Patrol team. I don't know if I would do more than 5 battles a day on them right now. Let them put in the work for you. Let the event put in some of the work for you before you do it. I would try to get them to at least R5, but R7 is a good solid grouping. I would be Jabba. Jabba is your priority farm. Jabba is your priority farm. SK should be your secondary farm. And honestly, just as a just in case, I would maybe try to put 5 battles a day towards the Mark 6 so that if Leviathans start popping up in your fleet shard, you can pivot, take them out with your Profundity. Dark Ray. It'd be really great if Dark Ray helps First Order do that assault battle at CT3. People in your position will really love that and appreciate that. Ben Solo is a nice priority tune because it really does elevate that Ray squad. And Gas, yeah, you're close to a position where it makes sense to bring up the Gas squad, but I think Jabba's way more important. So much more important for a roster. I would do Gas after SK. As you start to do SK, I would be shard farming the missing characters that you have here. But Jabba's your priority farm, hands down. And that's something, if you ever watched my reviews, literally anybody that doesn't have Java, I'm telling them go for Java, because that's just like it's a no-brainer thing. That's it. There's nothing else to tell you. I would just again strongly consider the Lover Boys as your relics before you consider your Peridia Patrol group for relics. Sure. Who was sharding? Was this guy sharding? I think somebody else was sharding. Was it Michael who was sharding? No, I think it was Stitch. Stitch was sharding. Yeah, I think it was Stitch who was sharding. I don't know. Let's see if we can get at least one more, and then I have to go rake leaves. I raked leaves and made my front lawn spotless 2 days ago, and then I drove home from work yesterday, and our tree, like, dumped every other leaf that was waiting, and it looks like I did nothing. It looks like a sea of leaves, and I do need to get that done. So let's do one more. I haven't done this many roster reviews in one sitting in a pretty long time, so yay me. I used to do like 10 in a clip. Let's go back to Discord. Alright, now I don't know if this is, I know Liam has an alt account. I don't know if this is the alt account or if it is the main account. I've got no idea. We'll take, why do I have so many? I have so many emails. Why? Okay. I don't know. What's the top 20 of your Fleet Arena look like? I don't need exacts or screenshots. It just gives me an idea. Mix of Leviathan and Executor, some profundity. I'm able to get number 1 every day in Fleet Arena. Are you coordinating? All right, so if you're getting number 1, it's probably your main. All right. Oh, there, you're there. Perfect. Cool. Assault battles, do your best if you don't remember. They're mostly in order. Nothing on Peridia Patrol, which is expected. Nothing on Secrets and Shadows. CT2 on most of these. Usually if you can get CT2 on some of these, you can get CT3, so we'll take a look. What are you currently working on? Jedi Master Luke requirements. Thinking I'm putting off Balin now since he doesn't perform as I was hoping he would. Yeah, Balin seems to be performing nowhere near what he should be doing. Next project will more than likely be Jabba into either Profundity or Leia. See, it looks like you did your own roster review. I should write a book. Is Moonborn here? Moonborn, can we write like an ebook that is like a choose your own adventure flowchart of roster reviews, and I can just be like, look, Jabba. Are you dead set on continuing? JML and Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, yes. Other projects in the air. I'd like to do some more TB teams. How highly do you value efficiency? When you say TB teams, do you mean with Omicron or without Omicron? How highly do you value efficiency versus farm? Since my last roster review of enjoying a more efficient playstyle over a fun playstyle, are there any favorite characters? Efficiency is fun. Same as last time, I'd love to eventually get both Echoes to R9 due to the characters being my favorite in the shows, but this will be a far into the future project of mine. And who knows, there might be another Echo in the future. Since posting this, I unlocked Jedi Master Luke. Thanks for the update, CG. You made my life so much easier. I'm assuming you're talking about the ticket update that posted. That definitely, because JML has 1 or 2 tiers that can be a little bit iffy. All right. Liam, let's take a look. Liam 04, 8 million GP. I do want to take a look at your troopers. Let's see. Don't have Veer, Stark, Piet, Range, Dark. Okay, so just because really no Zetas, I can see why you don't. But you have Third Sister. Are you one of those people that didn't do their Inquisitors, but no. You have Third Sister. Third Sister-led Inquisitors can do Forest Moon at CT3. So if you haven't tried that, I would definitely try it, and it is definitely worth remodding speed just for that event to get that done, because it is something you should be able to do. You have First Order at CT2. I can only assume that the reason you're not doing Places of Power at CT3 is because it's a pain in the ass and takes too long. But otherwise, you should be able to do that at CT3. You might be able to do CT3 if you like really highly remod for speed and you do something like Palp Lead, Treya, Nihilus, Malik. Bane is a little too squishy. It might not work. Maybe Savage, because it's really about Nihilus. You might be able to get lucky in CT3 Places of Power. 1, 2, 3, 4. You should be CT3ing Military Might, hands down. And if you're not already, it's Commander Luke, Chewpio in the second slot, Han Solo, C-3PO, and then throw in Mon Mothma. Throw in Mon Mothma in that fifth slot, do the event special on all of them, and just hit auto. You don't even need the Mon Mothma Zeta. I've seen people do this with her at like G10 with no mods, but I'd put mods on her just to make it more consistent. But that CT3 should be an easy thing too. Lysol, damn man, I've been trying to go quicker and quicker to raid into you, and you finally got me again. So I appreciate it, brother. Thank you. I try to do it every day. Now I don't know who I'm gonna raid into today. Okay, so that's why that should be easy for you then. You should be able to do that. Pretty Paw Patrol. One of my favorite SNL sketches is the one with what is his name? He plays he was in Moon Knight. What's the name of that actor? We're gonna look. Oscar Isaac, where he does the real life Moon Knight or the real life Paw Patrol. He goes, "This little boy's in charge of the city." It's very funny. I am a big fan. Let's see. Now that I've gotten off track, those are your assault battles. Let's just kind of see what this Enoch squad looks like. I don't really think it's an important squad for you right now. I mean, if you've been on... See, it's that 30-second delay. If you've been on listening to these reviews, I've said it to a bunch of people, I would really strongly recommend just bringing these guys to 5-star. The event is kind of tough, but if you bring him to level 85, I actually found putting it on auto, the computer played the match better than I played the match. If you're in level 85, like G10, G11, start working those free shards from that event, just as a quick short-term kind of project. Jabba is hands down your next post... Where are you on Jabba? Okay, he's G12. Jabba is hands down your next post JML project without a shadow of a doubt. Like, that should not even be a question. That is something that you should not be thinking about at all. Thinking of Balin into Profundity or Leia. How is Gear Tracker? Collection. No Malgus, no Fury. Okay. Mix of Leviathans, Executors, some Profundities. Okay. You know, I've said it a bunch of times. I don't want to over-suggest the idea of Profundity getting a lifter in the near future, which I really strongly believe. But you're already getting first with your Executor. It is time to get another GL ship, regardless. So I think that you should probably be doing Java is like a hands down has to happen. You need to go for Java right now. I would do Java Profundity Leia. Don't crisscross those two. I think for you, having the GL ship for if something changes is going to be a little bit more important. Java is your hands down most important thing. Leia is just a strong character. You'll get Endor escalation, but it's not really anything to write home about. It's not that super interesting of a thing to do. I think that is the way to go for you. Looking at smaller yeah, you got a little while with Malgus then. Looking at your smaller projects, again, I would recommend 5-starring the Paw Patrol squad, just to be prepared. Why is this? I hate this new thing. Bluetooth, there we go. Just to be prepared, and to kind of get those shards to work for you. Sorry, I'm slightly distracted. I was trying to put this in my ear. Perfect. Let's check out some small things. I'm surprised. Let's see this guild real quick. I'm surprised your guild's not asking you about Mandalore yet. I feel like by the time you finish gearing JML, finish Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, because that's a guild thing that you need to get done. Finishing Jabba, finishing Profundity, you know, by that time your guild is probably going to be pushing for Bo-Katan, so that might be a really strong option there before going for Leia. But you're also talking about 6 months from now, so you know a lot of things can change. But that's what I would do. I don't see anything too terribly glaring that's missing that'll like be super quick, unless you don't have Zori. You do. I like her to relics, but you know, at G12 she seems to do. Yeah, so after Jabba Profundity, I would be pushing Bo-Katan. Really great squad. Mandalore is a fairly easy mission. That's kind of how I would approach this. But again, we're talking about a pretty decent amount of time, and things can most definitely change in that time. Do you have any specific questions before we like pop out? I'm just pulling up my Twitch stuff to see who's on. Ooh, there's like a brand new dude on or something. Some French guy. Oh, but he's not playing Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. He's playing something else. And we got Womp Rat on. So before we finish up for the day, if you have any specific... Would you say I should grab 501st between Jabba and JML? No. Jabba is more important. Java is way more important. And you don't even have... Oh, you do have General Skywalker. I would say if you really want gas and you want to make gas strong, do it after Jabba and before Profundity. Jabba is just too important. That's... If you want him, that's where I would slot him in. once again. Votes for the Gungies are still coming in. They've definitely slowed down, though. I would really love to see above 1,000 votes. So make sure that you have voted in the Gungies. And make sure your guild knows about the Gungies. Tell them on Discord. Help us out. Make this a crazy, crazy event. I've been trying to get Tushy Bidets to sponsor us. I heard back from somebody, but then I didn't hear back again. Not even a no. So that's disappointing. But we have a lot of fun, really exciting stuff planned for the Gungies in general. So make sure you voted. Make sure your guilds know about it. Liam, anything else before I raid into Womprat? I'll give you like 30 seconds before I say, okay, now I got to go outside and do the lawn. Got so many emails. So many. Going twice. Oh, we don't want that to be gone. No? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm always on Discord. I'm watching football all day today. Maybe I'll tune into Scribble and give him a hard time. But I have people coming over too, so that might be rude. With that said, guys, enjoy your day. And there's still 8 days in our charity game. If you feel like playing Star Trek Fleet Command with us for charity, right now we are at, I think, $419 just by playing a silly mobile game. And that's all going to go to either Child's Play or Extra Life. And you can make about $30 in goals in about 2 hours of playing. So consider that. Let's raid into Womprat. We like this guy. He's fun.